Alright, what's going on, guys? I got a little bit of a recap style video today. I got a few topics that I want to talk about, but the main one for today is that KFC has turned Colonel Sanders into a female. Now, I want to make sure that I clarify this so we're all on the same page here. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, one of the biggest fast food restaurants in the world. I'm sure you guys all know the logo of KFC has a picture of that old guy on it. That's Colonel Sanders, and if you didn't know, Colonel Sanders is actually a real person. Colonel Harlan David Sanders was an American businessman best known for founding fast food chicken restaurant chain Kentucky Fried Chicken, now known as KFC, and later acting as the company's brand ambassador and symbol. His name and image are still symbols of the company. So basically, Colonel Sanders started a company in 1930 that has now grown to be one of the biggest fast food places in the world. And now, after his death, they have replaced him with a female. Now, let me just say a couple things, okay? Number one, I don't eat at KFC. I don't really eat too much fast food in general, only Chick-fil-A. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is not because I'm like fucking offended about it or something, is because I know that if the roles were reversed, this would be a very big deal. If they had replaced a female with a male, you know these feminists would be throwing a fucking fit about it. Let's just say we take Wendy's, for example. I think this is a good example because Wendy is a real person as well. She's the daughter of the guy who created Wendy's. That's what it's named after. So let's just say we replaced Wendy's with a man, right? And we called it fucking Williams. I don't fucking know, you know what I mean? Like, we took Wendy's away and we put a man in there instead, put a fucking wig on him and said, look, here's the new Wendy. Like, come on, man. You already know there would be so much outrage over that. There would be fucking hashtag me too all over Twitter, bro. These bitches would be crying about it. It would be a huge deal. But when they do it to my man Colonel, to my guy Harlan, alright? Big Dick Sanders. The Colonel ain't here to defend himself, alright? These fools thought, you know, hey, the Colonel ain't here no more, you know, RIP to the Colonel, but he's gone. So why don't we just replace him with the female, right? I mean, who cares, right? No, I don't think so. I got you, alright? I am here to stand up for the Colonel, bro. They can't be disrespecting us men like this. It's unacceptable. So that's all I'm saying, man. I just want to point out that I feel like this would be a really big deal if the roles were reversed, and right now it's kind of a deal, you know, it's a little bit of a deal, but nobody really cares because there's no male feminists out there really, so we don't really tend to get offended over these type of things. But it's crazy that shit like this can happen and nobody is seeing the hypocrisy going on here, you know what I mean? Like, next thing you know, they gonna be turning fucking Burger King into Burger Queen. Let me catch a fucking Burger Queen restaurant, bro. That might be time for me to leave this earth, bro. That might just be it right there, bro, if we get to that point. But anyways, that's it, man. I don't get why we always got to be switching people's genders and races and all sorts of stuff, right? Like, just leave it alone, bro. If you want to come up with something brand new to represent a certain gender or a certain race in something, like, that's cool, man. But please stop changing the identity of people that already exist in order to try to, you know, fit this new agenda, you know what I mean? Like, that's my number one rule with this shit. Quit trying to change things and just come up with something new. That's all. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask for. But anyways, moving on, our second topic of the day. This one is very controversial, apparently. I want to talk about the Black Panther movie for a second. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but social media, or, you know, media in general, has somehow turned this Marvel superhero movie into some sort of huge racial issue and, you know, racial movement. The amount of pure racism being thrown around by both sides is ridiculous because on one hand, we have tweets like this: "Dear white people, just a friendly reminder as the anticipation builds for Black Panther. Number one, this is for the culture. Number 2, this doesn't concern you. Number 3, stay the fuck out of our way on February 16th. Number 4, keep all your opinions about the film to yourself unless you're asked, but don't worry, you won't be asked. That tweet has over 1,000 retweets, and I guess, a lot of people agree with that statement because, as you guys know, you can't be racist towards white people. That's the rule. Just imagine for 2 seconds that said, dear black people, and it said that exact same thing. That Twitter account would probably be suspended, but, when you put white people in, it doesn't matter. But people saw this tweet and tweets like this from people, and as you could imagine, the responses to these tweets were not very nice. People basically responded to this obvious racism with some racism of their own, They just brought it right back. I will say, the person that tweeted that out, I censored it, I'm not trying to get in trouble just in case, you know how YouTube is nowadays. But I will say, the person who tweeted that out is like some 400-pound fucking black humpback whale. So you can only imagine the type of responses people were coming up with upon seeing her appearance. But I just want to say, not everything has to be a racial or political issue, man. Why can't this just be a fucking superhero movie? Let's just relax a little bit. Is it possible that we can just relax? It's ridiculous. Nowadays, everything has to be turned into some sort of fucking issue, and I just think we need to fucking tone it down a little bit. Come on, man. Not everything has to be a fucking racial debate. It's just so ridiculous, man. But anyways, that's all I want to say about that. I don't want to get too far into it. It's a fucking fictional movie that someone wrote up in a fucking comic book. It's not that serious. But finally, I want to finish off with one final thing. I'm just going to throw my Super Bowl predictions into this video for 1 minute. I'm not going to get too in detail with it, but since every Q&A I get, it's always the #1 request, I do want to throw it in here. So I'm going to have to ride with the Patriots once again, but I am going to say I don't have the greatest confidence in this pick. I feel like it will be a close one, man. I think it might just come down to a fourth quarter game-winning drive by Tom Brady, which at this point wouldn't really be much of a surprise, I guess. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we're used to seeing, but I think it will be pretty close. So I'm going to pick the Patriots, but if I do end up being wrong about this, I won't be that surprised. So we'll see on Sunday, man. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day and peace out.